step up on clutch. This is planned, this isn't. My advisor is my gut. Please don't ever interrupt. I got businesses with Lord. I just open up my door. About to see the world on tour. Y'all do too much, I just record.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, birds. Good morning, birds. You know, a friend of mine was like, why don't you just stop feeding the birds? I was like, man, that's cruel. I can put up with a little bit of chirping. Excuse me while I reposition my mic. I can put up a little bit of chirping. All right, let's get to the market. So basically, I haven't even really been fucking with the market because the market is in such a weird place. We're kind of like floating, and the waves. There's not much wind, so the waves haven't been too big. You know, it's just been 10-15% swings. And your occasional rare breakouts. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm stocked up on altcoins to the brim. I am fully stocked up on altcoins. And at this point, I've been making future moves, i.e. ICOs, but also understanding that getting into the right altcoins now is going to make or break your year, in my opinion. The rest of the year. So, because in my older videos, you'll hear me talk about time. So when you're in investment, people only think about the money. They only think about the money. They say, okay, well, I got into this coin at this time at X price, and now I'm underwater this much money. That's what they'll tell me. And I'll say, well, how much time has it been? And then they'll usually say, oh, no, it's been probably like a month. And I was like, so you know exactly how much money is down, but you don't know exactly how long the investment has been. And they say, correct. And I'll say, well, what's the logic in that? Because in all honesty, time is much more important than money. One you can replicate. The other you cannot replicate. No matter how much money you have, you need time to execute it. Without time, money is worthless. However, time doesn't need money to do a bitch-ass thing. Time can be around without money. Keep this through your fucking skulls. This is so important. I mean, it's... So, what does this mean? Okay, so we've had an irrational market fluctuation. These altcoins have not been going down because of their quality. They've been going down because what is happening with Bitcoin. It's not a fair world. It doesn't matter how good of a coin you have. It doesn't matter how cool you are, see a coin, Golem, you know, Stratus, Lisk. It doesn't matter how badass you are. Doesn't. No Limitcoin, basic attention token, Populous. Doesn't matter how badass you are. You're going down, and you went down with the market. Every coin went down. There wasn't a coin that didn't go down, except you could say for Chain Coin, but that was fucking, we all know why that didn't go down. It was unnatural. And I love the heart, but obviously it wasn't sustainable. Trust is a bitch, and you can't trust nobody. If your market plan revolves around trusting strangers, then you're going to fail because no one's holders, no one's hodling. No one's hodling shit. At the end of the day, it's going to be you hodling your balls with a bunch of worthless coins if you're going to go into that route where you're having to trust other people, putting your life into other people's hands. That's not my market plan. And so all these other coins have been going down because of Bitcoin. So it's not fair. So if you've been scooping them up, what has been going on? I hope somebody fucking thought of it by now. What's been happening? Just take a second to think while I drink my water. Bitcoin has put a hold, probably about a month or two hold on these altcoins because really the altcoins have been kind of ceilinged out a little bit, depending on the altcoin, obviously. But Bitcoin has kind of put a roof on these altcoins saying, hey, you can't get this. You can't get higher than this no matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how good you are. You're not getting higher than what you are. And that's what's been happening over the 2 or 3 weeks. So what happens when there's an irrational, unwarranted price sinkage, when the price goes down for a coin for no reason, for no actual reason, what's happening? Time is happening. The most important thing is fucking happening. Time is happening. Do you understand? That means if there was no reason on the quality end for this price to sink, and it's been 3 weeks, what the fuck do you think's been going on for those 3 weeks? You think they've been frozen because of Bitcoin? You think no limit coins has been frozen because of Bitcoin? You don't understand what's been going on. That 3 weeks has been massively huge behind the scenes. So the price has been stunted artificially while the product's quality has 5x'd. So that means once the market shifts from Bitcoin to altcoin, which it always does, and this time Bitcoin is going to pack a lot bigger punch because it's going to have a lot more market share after all this bullshit's done with the fork, then you're going to have the altcoins come back to their not only true potential or their actual potential of what it was, and then they're going to come into their true potential where you're going to see the quality, and then you're going to see the one skyrocketing, where you saw Ripple go from less than a penny to fucking 30 cents, 35 cents. That's the type of shit that, when you see No Limit Coin go from 50 Satoshi to 2,800 Satoshi. That's the kind of shit that's going to happen when Bitcoin takes that roof off and the quality of the coins can actually shine. And that's what's been happening with No Limit Coin. No Limit Coin has been getting held down by, we have a dumper. We have somebody that has millions of coins out of, they got them at like 100 Satoshi. Already 90% sure who it is, but you know what? I don't put names. It's not, hey, you can do how you want to do. I don't like it how you're shitting on my business, because it's like, I hooked you up. I fucking, you couldn't have got that deal through anybody else. So your bitch ass can't even have patience or do it with elegance. You're just trying to dump, millions of fucking No Limit Coin. But that's gone because I bought up a lot of it, and so did all the other whales. So the coins have just gone into stronger hands. That's all. And now he's gone. Now it's gone. The dumps is like, they're basically no more. They're a little bit here, a little bit there. But other than that, it's like, the guy's, he's out. And now he's going to probably jump off a fucking roof when he sees what's about to happen, because No Limit Coin has been working. We've been working the whole fucking time, every day, working. We got new websites, the whole thing. Everything you know about No Limit Coin is about to be fucking flipped. You're gonna not know what the fuck. It's like we had a station wagon, now we're pulling up in a fucking Benz, fucking brand new, fucking crisp and clean, cleaner than your motherfucking church shoes. I'm telling you, this shit is going to be so fucking crazy. It's going to be nuts. Dude, we have half the fucking rake. 2.5% on heads up. I already have a list of fucking heads up whales who play on DraftKings for a living. This is what these guys do. They're really good at what they do. They're already going to come over because guess what? The other guys charge way more than that. 2-3 times that. And when you're a heads up specialist, I'm a poker player. I understand the rake and how important it is. If you have lower rake, guess what? You don't need a big field for heads up. So yeah, DraftKings might be able to have bigger events which draw people in, but for heads up, it's equal playing field. It doesn't matter. You only need one person. And guess what? These people like hunting websites that aren't as well known, because then the competition isn't as good. They're called bum hunters. They're sharks looking for the fish on the newer websites. You got to believe we have the best ad campaign you ever fucking seen that's about to be launched for these heads up matches that's going to go for the throats of DraftKings. We're going for the towns. We're not going for the castle right now. We're going for the farms and villages outside that motherfucker. We're going for everything outside of it. We're about to cut off all the fucking resources. We're about to fucking attack from the outside in. We're going to knock out the little watchtowers, everything. They're not going to see what's about to happen, because once we steal all the heads up players, then it's fucking on. Now their resources are gone. Now their big money's gone. That's where you make the fucking money. People who are dropping $10,000 a game for heads up and playing hundreds of them. Like that's where the money is. And for heads up, we're not going to have the newbie rules. It's going to be, you can play as many fucking teams as you want because it's heads up. You're not playing You're not playing in a pool, so it's different that way. And they're just not going to see it coming. And then before they know it, we're going to Mongolian that motherfucking wall down. and they're not going to have shit. They're not going to be prepared. They're not going to have their crypto side on point. When the biggest crypto boom after this year, next year, crypto markets are going to be absolutely massive. 250 billion by mid next year. Easy money. Easy money. All of these altcoins are going to be worth so much more money next year. All the ones that survive and that are good. So all this time that has been, while we've been laying low, letting Bitcoin predict the prices, right? Letting Bitcoin dictate the prices. We're waiting low, waiting for our opportunity, only sharpening our knives, only training, only getting better, keener, smarter, faster, getting more connections, more boom, more pop, everything, working on everything. And it's all going to happen at once. It's going to, like, the floodgates are going to open and you're going to see the new website, the new platform, the new everything, ad campaign, everywhere you're going to see Bitcoin. If you're in fantasy, you're going to have to see No Limit Coin. You're going to have to fuck with us if you're in fantasy. You're going to have to. You're not going to have a choice. We have half the rake. We have the crypto side. You have to fuck with us. And you're going to see us. You're going to see us. We've just been waiting. The affiliate program was just finished last night. I'm just passing out the master links now. If you want in my group, get in it, because there's going to be a cutoff. Because my group's getting a way more baller deal than anyone's ever going to get. And this is going to be set for life. So if you want to get that life-changing money and want to get that life-changing deal, you better get in my group, Dan's group. Get in that. It's an affiliate crew where we're going to be attacking YouTubers who are fantasy, saying, hey, promote it. Here's your affiliate link. You're going to get a baller deal for everybody sign up, half the rake, give them all the ammunition in the world to promote it. It's going to be like stealing candy from a blind baby. And I'm sorry to blame. I don't know why it came out that way. It made me feel bad. Blind baby, that's going to be terrible. But that's what it's going to be like. And I ain't even going to feel bad doing it. I want to eat the motherfucker and I'm going to crunch on it so the baby can hear me crunching on it. Because I'm a sadistic motherfucker when it comes to business. But I'm holy as shit in real life. I'll help you carry your groceries, pat your dog on the head, play catch, and then go on home. That's what kind of dude I am. But if you're talking about business, you don't want to mess with me. I bust out Saul 10 in this motherfucker. Y'all going to be screaming for your mamas. So all this time that has been passing has just been accumulating so much value. Man, there was something I needed to touch on that I forgot about. What was I going to touch on, guys? All right. Yeah, but just thinking of next year, thinking of what coins are going to survive, that's what it was. So a lot of people are saying, oh man, go look at the .com boom, or go look at all the booms. Look at all the coins, or not, look at all the businesses that failed. And people are like, man, you understand, a lot of these coins are going to fail. Like 90% of these coins aren't going to be here in 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, what do you want, a fucking cookie? Of fucking course 90% of these coins aren't going to fucking be here. You want to know why? Okay, let's fucking see. Yeah, I'm sure Dime Coin's gonna be around, and Fedora Coin, and Sprouts, and Moon Coin's gonna be around. Hey, XP, that's fucking after one of my homies. Yeah, that coin's gonna be the Bunny Coin and Cage Coin. Yeah, all these fun. No, of course 90% aren't gonna be fucking around, because you have 90% of them are bullshit, like Bunny Coin and Cage Coin, and you have, dude, I've seen so many stupid coins, it's ridiculous. I've seen like coins named after actors, like B-grade actors. It doesn't even make sense. You have stuff like the Cyberfunks. Dude, there's a coin called Shitcoin. Of course, 90% of the coin. And then you have to retail that into the past. It's like, dude, yeah, a lot of those car companies didn't make it because the car companies were shit. They were Bunny Coin and Shitcoin and Cage Coin. They were coins that just were set up to fail, because it's funny. Some people set up businesses to fail, even though they have no choice. They just think, oh, well, it's a market that's popular, so if I make a car, it doesn't matter if it's good or not, it's going to succeed. That's what people think. And some of them will. Guess what? Cage Coin, somebody fucking bought it. It went up 35, 74% with that. You know, I've been talking about Cage Coin. I've never invested in Cage Coin. That was just a funny video I did back in the day when, you know, back when I was really hunting coins, like finding the cheap value coins. Not just cheap and value, just whatever, like good hunts. And I came across Cage Coin. I actually did the due diligence, old school D-hens. And you know what? You know you're a motherfucking gangster when you refer to your 2-month-old self as the old school version. That's how I know you're fucking lifting and moving levels. That's when you know you're skyrocketing. When you look at your old self and it's 2 months ago, and you look at it like it's 10 years ago, like it's the old you, because 2 months ago is so much fucking time to grow. That's what I'm trying to say with this motherfucking time in businesses. You're talking about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You give me 3 weeks with a coin and a community and a team and a dev team that really knows what's going on. We got really good wizards and programmers. You're telling me you give me all those resources and I can't make you a fucking beautiful monument in 3 weeks? No. And that's been going on a lot longer. I'm just saying that's since this price, 3 weeks to a month now since these prices have been ceilinged off. But yeah, a lot of these coins aren't going to be here. Most of them won't be, because look at them. Most of them kitty coin. And it's just going to get worse. Panda coin, it's just going to get absolutely worse as the it just spreads. You're going to have 100 different bunny coins, raptor coin, crocodile coin, the mosquito coin. You're going to have fucking stupid ass coins that people just make just because. And yeah, it's gonna artificially inflate the failure rate, because it's gonna be like, well, 90% of businesses fail. It's like, yeah, 90% of businesses are fucking bunny coin. That's why. But as far as Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these top coins, yeah, they're going to fucking be around 5 years from now. If the internet is, unless somebody else invents something better, which it doesn't matter. Even if they did, which they have, it's the golden rule. So when something dominates and clears the field, you have about 5 to 10 years of dominance. If you've noticed throughout time, that's just how it is. I wouldn't say time, but in like the Industrial Revolution, right? You get something and then, 10, maybe 15 years at the latest, it's phased out. And then you go on to the next thing. And, Facebook was created, about 10 years ago going on, or a little bit over, give or take. And here we are already. You got Steemit, you got the new platforms that are going to revolutionize that. And yeah, it's just going to be, it's just going to be absolutely massive. And it's Facebook's, it's the old internet's time. The internet from 10 years ago isn't the same. It's not blockchain. There's no accountability. In a way, this is just bringing accountability where it's much needed. And it's not just the internet, because when you say internet, you just think of like obviously like surfing the web, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, the internet's like life. It's communication. It's so we don't have to write letters to each other and shit. So Bitcoin is revolutionizing money. Ethereum is revolutionizing everything, basically. I mean, you could say communication, because you can build, like status. You can build communication platforms on Ethereum. You can build communication from Bitcoin. You can build them from anything, really. I mean, it's just so amazing what you can do with these technologies. And you have to understand that right now is the make it or break it time. When Facebook and all these new companies came out, it was the same thing. People were like going frantic, like, oh my God, money's being made left to right. It's like, what do we invest in? Should you invest in Twitter? Should you have invested in Snapchat? Like, there were all these new things and people were questioning them. And yeah, of course, you had the people going crazy, spending large amounts of money. And that never subsided. Snapchat was bought for billions. Like, these apps are bought for billions, and that hasn't slowed down. I knew it would start to slow down, but it didn't, because now you have the blockchain that's going to come in, and that's going to be, holy shit. You thought hearing these billions for these apps were going to be huge. Wait till this becomes mainstream. Wait till these, like, the people just still don't know. Like, I was talking to somebody, I have wealthy friends. I was talking to one of my friends, very wealthy, like baller. Dude didn't know about, like, he was ignorant, and it surprised me, because I have respect for him, but he just didn't know enough about Bitcoin. He just thought like he wasn't so ignorant like a lot of people are, like thinking it's fake money and all that. He just didn't fully understand the blockchain. And when I really broke it down for him, he went and actually bought Bitcoin. It's just like, I don't know, people just, and it's hard. Like, it's like you're totally against Bitcoin until you're not. because it's really hard to understand what Bitcoin is. And yeah, that may sound funny, but it is, man. If you don't know anything about Bitcoin and you try to explain it to somebody, you're like, first of all, when you're fucking with somebody's money, they get defensive anyway. Talking about, you know, what you're talking about, this is going to replace money, like, oh, what, it's just electronic token, worthless. Like, that's the first thing. But people are so brainwashed, they don't even realize that, man, the dollar is the exact same thing. It's not like the dollar's worth. They actually made the paper dollar as worthless as possible. You can't burn it for fire because it's toxic. You can't wipe your ass with it because it'll give you a rash. You can't do anything with it at all. Can't clean up anything. It's worthless. They had to do that on purpose to make the most absolutely worthless piece of paper that's toxic. It's just like a slap in the face. And then you realize that there's no cap and there's no inflation number that's set. Like, they can just print money at will when they need to, and just completely trash the dollar at any moment. And it's just been going, the dollar's been collapsing, if anyone's noticed. I don't think anyone's actually noticed, but the dollar's been collapsing. It's been going down pretty steadily, pretty fast, and steeper rate, if anyone's paying attention to the fiat world. So that's going to cause a scare. That's going to obviously, there's one thing, when people start to get nervous and scared about something, they're much more willing to jump to something new. Right? A fear of getting fucked over. So when the dollar starts collapsing and all this FOMO, look at Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all these well-known people are all, you know, Mark Cuban, all these people are preaching collapse. Dollar collapse, dollar collapse. And you'd be surprised at how many people will do anything these billionaires say just because they're billionaires and they think that they know everything. So you're going to have a lot of people who have FOMO, and then you have people, or not FOMO, but fear of getting screwed over, and they're going to be jumping to Bitcoin because guess what? Bitcoin's already rumbling by Mark Cuban. They're already starting to rumble to all of these other people, Wealth Daily, all these other big blogs and email lists are already talking about jumping to crypto. So after Christmas, you know, keep in mind, we're going through a very sluggish time anyway. The summer is already notorious for this anyway. And you add all this fucking bullshit with the fork and the miners fucking everything up. We also can't take for granted that we want the market to crash so we get cheap coins. Ultimately, we always want the market to keep going up, because the more it goes up, the faster this is going to get mainstream adopted. It's like, who gives a fuck if we make $500 of Bitcoin right now? You know, yeah, that's nice. You know, you sell 100 Bitcoin, you get 500 a pop. That's nice money. But man, what if Bitcoin goes to 50,000? What Bitcoin goes to 100,000? Like, what the fuck does these pennies that we're scraping over fucking matter if we can just get Bitcoin over the hump and then think of all the altcoins? So, you know, we're playing with pennies when we have the big bucks right in front of us. So all these YouTubers that are putting the fear out there, they don't understand. They might be doing it to try to get cheaper prices. Maybe it's just, I don't know what the fuck the cause is, but it's just like, you're hurting. It's like, with the market crashing, that's a bad thing, because it's ultimately going to stunt how long it's going to take to get to the promised land. People don't like seeing up and down. They don't like seeing that shit. I do. You know, traders do, people who want to make money do, but the general public don't like seeing that. They don't want to invest in something that's like, they're like, okay, yeah, I think I'll fucking pass. They just don't have the stomach for it, because those are people who are scorekeepers, right? Talked about in yesterday's video, people are always watching the score. So right now, what I'm doing is trying to get working on the best deals for ICOs. I'm trying to get better and better and better deals. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be able to buy. It's like, okay, you have a bulk order for 100 Ethereum and I get this percentage. Well, what if I come with more? Right? I'm trying to get like the app, squeeze every last drop out of the orange, if that makes sense. And those are the deals I'm working on right now. Also, I am not even really setting lures. I don't, because it's just such a weird time right now that I don't, you know, the prices aren't low enough to hit the lures I want. And obviously I'm always keeping an eye on, I'm having so much research done with the ICOs that, you know, pretty soon I'm going to have a team of people who are just doing that shit for me, just researching ICOs. So now, like, even if I don't get into the ICO, I know when the coin's going to hit the market and I can watch it and if it dumps, if it goes down below, I'll be able to scoop it, knowing that, hey, it was almost good enough for me to get in the ICO, but just not. And if it was to sink after the fact, then I'll scoop it. So it's just giving me a whole new awareness, so much more knowledge in the field of the upcoming, because so many people are worried about what's out there, and people don't realize, man, what's out there is nice, but what's coming up, like, I already got a lot of what's good out there. I already got No Limit Coin. I already got some Vertasium. I already got some Sia Coin, Bat Token. I mean, dude, I can go down the fucking list. I got Golem during that last crash. I got just so much stuff, and I got Lisk, Factum, and these aren't just things that, like, you know, I just got them because the price warranted it. That was all. Oh man, so yeah, basically just chilling. I mean, like, doing spearfishing when there's some downtimes, really waiting for the news, because I can't really see the opportunities to be made right now. And when I do see opportunities, I take them. But like right now, it's like I really don't want to buy Bitcoin because I have enough of it, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. The signaling was at like 90 plus, and now it's at like 86. So it's like you've got some fluctuation there. You have people coming out saying that there's like it's just a lot of moving parts still. We're not out of the woods, so I'm just hanging low. I'm actually happy now that I'm diversified with Tether as well. So yeah, just this next week is gonna be a big week for No Limit Coin. That's huge. So right now, like, I mean, I can't say this enough. Like, I've just been scooping up No Limit Coin left and right. We are going to be the dominant fantasy sports coin. We have the clear path. We're the only ones doing it. The only other people that are doing it, that they're just way behind, and they're just not going to be able to compete with us. There's just not, there's just too many people making coins just to make a coin. I'm not that guy. It's like, we're going to, whatever I want to do, whatever coin we're going to get into and settle into. I'm really glad that it's fantasy sports, because this is such a big market, and it's still new. It's still new, and we're doing so many new perks and special things that the other teams aren't doing. Like with soccer, they only do the one game. We're gonna make it a week, so you can play from you can pick from all the different leagues. You can also do the one game if you want, but just little things like that are gonna make the big difference. But I'm gonna kill it here. Cheers, peace.